Several weeks ago, me and my buddy took on the infamous Pikes Peak down in Colorado Springs. 14,000 feet, nearly 5 hours of climbing at altitude. We burned thousands of calories. And yet last week, I was at a little farm stand, a little grill in southern Vermont with my girlfriend. We were eating burger and fries, and after about eating 2/3 of her cheeseburger, she was like, I'm done, and pushed away her plate. Now, I'm giving you the context of these two stories to illustrate which one do you think has by far the biggest influence on health, well-being, and body fat management. I'll tell you, it sure as hell ain't riding up Pikes Peak. Even though in the moment that seems like it was a much bigger deal, the fact is that has almost a trivial, inconsequential influence over health and fitness, my health and body fat management, over just saying, I know there's still food on my plate, but you know what, I'm done, I'm satisfied, I'm going to stop eating now. Because what I'm talking about in today's video are your baseline fundamental habits. These are the habits that are running largely on subconscious autopilot. Most of the time you're not even aware of them, but those are the things that have far more influence over your long-term success. But we usually have our attention grabbed and held hostage by the extremes in our fitness culture. The extreme diets, the extreme workouts, the extreme challenges. Look at this person who's got this perfect body and the extreme morning routine they have. But the fact of the matter is that's almost assuredly not going to be the path you're going to need to get successful. Instead, your fundamental baseline habits are the simple things you do on a daily basis, almost completely on autopilot that you're not even aware of. And those are the things you want to focus and curate in order to give yourself the best chance of success. There are several reasons for this. The first of which is that when it comes to your diet and exercise habits, almost nothing you do does very much. The extreme workout that you put yourself through does almost nothing for your body. The extreme diet that you practice for several weeks will have almost no impact on your body fat levels or your weight. And this is because if you do something extreme, but you can't maintain it for months or years on end, it has a trivial influence over the fundamental process that does govern your results. We burned thousands of calories riding up Pikes Peak, but I only did it that one time that year, and I'm probably not going to do it again for another year or two. So those thousands of calories over the long run are inconsequential. However, walking to my car, parked 2 blocks away from my apartment complex, burns far more calories over the course of the year and does so much more for me. And that fundamental habit of just walking an extra block to my car is much bigger because it compounds. The second reason why fundamental habits are so important is because they can build up and they can progress over time. The extreme influencer you see out there is like, oh yeah, I have this crazy morning routine with extreme habits. Yes, those are baseline habits for that individual, but what you don't see is that they spent years building up those habits. They didn't start with that type of morning routine. They started off with something like, I'm going to do 10 push-ups a day. I'm going to make sure I have some protein for breakfast. Or I'm just going to make sure that I don't hit the snooze alarm 15 times before I finally get out of bed. They started off with something very, very small, something that was easy to maintain. And then once they made that a habit, and they could maintain it fairly easily, then they added to it, and they added, and they added, and they added. And that's why you see their extreme morning routine where they're like putting themselves in an ice bath while journaling all their thoughts down in hieroglyphics or whatever. Is like they didn't start there. Those are baseline habits that they took years to develop. So if you suddenly are like, okay, that's what I'm going to do, it's not going to be a baseline habit. Now you're going into the extreme, and it's not going to probably work very well. And the third reason why your baseline fundamental habits are so important is because you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. Some days you're going to be able to kill it in the gym. Some days it's going to be all you can do just to get out of bed in the morning. Your fundamental habits are the things that you resort to most of the time when life keeps throwing you curveballs. And when those fundamental habits are well established and they're progressed a little bit, then your baseline is so much higher. So even on your worst days, you're still making more progress than you would otherwise if you didn't have those fundamental habits well established. Extreme stuff is fun. It's kind of like taking a vacation to an exotic location. It's educational, you can learn a lot, you can grow from it. Absolutely. Just don't expect it to really do much for you in the long run, because it probably won't. Instead, what are the daily habits you have on a regular basis that are largely running on subconscious autopilot, become more aware of those, work on those habits, improve them in small, very manageable ways, and that's the stuff that's holding the key to your success. What are some of your fundamental habits that you've established that have done you a lot of good? Leave them down below in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. Best of luck in your workouts this week. Be fit and live free.